What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lines and Live. It's Tuesday, 7 p.m., and we're glad to have you with us tonight. Right now, I am rolling solo, Mr. David Best. He was supposed to be on tonight, but he's having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're going to try to get him on here as soon as possible. But, man, just want to say, this past weekend was pretty cool, getting to watch the Hobie Bass Open Series unfold out there and everything. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We got some really interesting content coming up tonight, and actually we're going to kind of run a little bit of a mini series with this topic of discussion on some Louisiana inshore red fishing. That's something that I have zero knowledge of myself. Something I've always wanted to learn a lot more about. But we have Stephen Frenette coming on tonight. He is the son of Mike Frenette, and they own the Louisiana Lodge, the RedFish Lodge of Louisiana, fishing charter down there in Lodge. And so we're gonna get him on here in just a little bit and hear about some red fishing. So I'm excited about that. But I want to just go through a couple of things real quick. Just a couple of reminders. We do have the St. Jude Kayak Bass Classic coming up this May 29th, and you can register by going to linesandyakfishing.com. Click on the St. Jude tab and print off the registration form, and that's one way you can mail that in, or you can show up to in-person registration on May 28th at the Batesville Civic Center in Batesville, Mississippi, and register that way. So just a couple of things right there. And I got a little bit of scoop from a friend of mine that was fishing the Hobie Bass Open Series event on Santee Cooper. And honestly, man, there was a couple of really good limits, up top. They just really blew it out of the water. They made the right adjustments and stuff. But for the most part, it sounded like a lot of people struggled with that. But I want to share a little bit of a video, just something kind of funny to get us kicked off here tonight. And I'm sure my guest, he's going to get a kick out of this because he's probably going to laugh at how fast our buddy dipped out on a big gator. But so that we've all quite a few of us have fished at tournaments where you got some gators in the water, but up here around Memphis and West Tennessee, we're not really used to that, and I definitely know that he's not used to it in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm gonna roll this clip real quick and show this. It's pretty funny. A man could not get out of there fast enough. I don't think that I've ever seen somebody throw it into reverse on a Hobie PA14 and kick tail out of there as fast. But good stuff, man. But hey, another little quick reminder. This Saturday up at S.Y. Wilson and Company in Arlington, Tennessee, we're going to be doing yeah, it's pretty funny. We're going to be doing a kayak demo day, or not really so much a demo day, but just a kayak day. Come out and join with us. I think we might have David. Okay, here we go. We're going to get David in here. He's got sound now. What's up, David?
Hey, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I can hear you fine now. I swear. I had to shut the whole dang system down, relog into the network, the whole shooting match made it work. We're working though, so it's
computers,
good.
Man. Sometimes you just gotta spank them a little bit.
I'm an antiquated old man. What do you expect?
Yeah. So that's what I tell everybody, man. First and foremost, try rebooting your computer. But when we were on the phone, I just didn't even think about that. But glad to have you on. Did you see that video just then of? I
missed it.
Oh man, I'll have to show you later. Yeah, it was really funny. It was our buddy Brandon Davis encountering a big gator down there in Santee Cooper.
Oh, I've seen that video. Pretty funny, yeah.
He threw that thing into reverse on that 360 and hightailed it out of there.
I tailed it. I would too.
Yeah, but I was just in the middle of reminding everybody this Saturday, be sure to come out to S.Y. Wilson and Company, and we're going to have a kayak day out there. Myself and Matt Skelton and some of the other staff from New Canoe and Hobie will be out there. We'll have our boats and stuff, so you can kind of get a look at and get some ideas on how you may want to rig yours out. But David, any information pertinent to that event that you want to put out?
Man, it's just going to be a fun. I think it's going to be a fun event. We're going to have Christina and Colton Anderson from New Canoe, our New Canoe staff. If you guys haven't met them, great little couple. We're going to be running a big sale at the tackle shop. Not going to announce what the numbers are until Thursday, but it's going to be a good sale. I think everybody will like it. It's going to be a great opportunity Friday, Saturday, Sunday to come in and spend some money in the store. We've got a lot of neat new stuff at the store, Ice Mule and a lot of new hook gear, clothing, and that kind of stuff. So Free Fly came in last week. For those of y'all that haven't seen the Free Fly clothing, it's all bamboo UV kayak apparel, fishing apparel. I wear a lot of it myself. I love it. Doubles is a great workout gear as well. So
yeah.
But there's a lot going on. So come see us this weekend. It'll be fun. I think we'll have a good time.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, I think we got a little bit of rain in the forecast, but we're going to have, in case it is raining, we're going to have the kayaks inside the shop, so you guys can still come out and hang out and stuff. So one way or another, it's going to be fun.
In typical meteorologist fashion, we went from a 62% chance of rain on Saturday to now we're down to 20, and instead of being 62 degrees, it's going to be 71. Who knows? We'll know when we get there on Saturday. That's why we don't cancel any of this stuff in advance.
I hate this time of year, man. You're waking up, I got a long sleeve shirt on and a jacket, and then by the time it's lunch, I'm shedding the jacket and wish I would have put a short sleeve shirt on.
Yeah, so, exactly. So,
but yeah, man, I was just talking a little bit about the Hobie Bass Open. I'm sure you followed it a little bit. But man, it sucked, that cold front came through and just, threw a wrench in those guys, that tournament for everybody down there. And then we had, MLF had their Red Crest this past weekend, so that was fun. I got to catch up with our buddy Jimmy Washam down there and hang out at the Battleborn booth, meet some cool people. But yeah, pretty intense little moment right there. I don't know if you got to catch that at all, David, but like the last couple of minutes, Bobby Lane pulled up a 2-pounder, and the first couple of times that they weighed it was 1 pound 15 ounces, and then he went for the third time, and it got 2 pounds, and so he bumped up over Wheeler, I think it was, by just ounces. So,
but, Bobby's kind of an old school Bubba fisherman, so I'm always rooting for him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Charles Breckenridge. Lord knows that the cold front messed everything up here in Virginia. Well, you're pretty far up there. I mean, are y'all even done with winter yet? So,
no, I don't know if they're done with winter yet, but he's still been catching a bunch of fish. So he sends me pictures pretty regular. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get Steven in here, man. I'm excited to talk to him, kind of have a little bit of change of pace with our outside of our typical discussion. I want to give a big shout out and thanks to our sponsors, Battleborn Batteries, as well as Primary Tackle, for sponsoring this show. We couldn't do it without you guys, so much appreciated. So we're gonna get Steven in here and run a little introduction.
Oh, got me.
What's up, Steven?
What's up, Justin?
Hey, man. So as far as I know, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of an introduction. I got to meet your dad this past weekend, Mike Frenette. Am I saying your last name correct?
That's it, Frenette.
Sweet. All right. So you guys run a fishing charter down there, RedFish Lodge of Louisiana, down there in Venice, Louisiana.
Yes,
and from the looks of it, man, you got a sweet little gig down there. You're a captain yourself. You captain your own boat and everything.
Yeah, we got about a 5-boat operation. Me, my dad, my brother, and a couple other guys that run some boats for us on a daily. I mean, when we're busy, we don't have 5 boats booked every day, but when things are good, we do. Yeah. Other than that, Mom's running the books and all the accounting, and it's a full family rig, man. We run a full service lodge. pick you up, or most guys stay at the lodge, wake up, eat breakfast, bring your lunch with you, come fishing all day long, come back to a hot cooked meal and a nice warm bed, ready to get up and do it again the next day.
Beautiful.
From the looks of the pictures, I hear the food is fantastic. I mean, Louisiana just has that reputation. But
That's what I was about to say. I mean, kind of like you guys with barbecue, we're definitely known for some good food. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah, you come for the fish and you come back for the food.
yeah. So do you all share on the cooking, or does mom do that?
No, I mean, it all depends. Mom, 90% mom. Unless we have bigger groups and specialty things, we'll do like, I don't know, a big shrimp or crawfish boil or something like that. And kind of when we're doing that, everybody's all in. Mom's doing, I don't know, jambalaya, salad, stuff like that. Me and Dad, my brother, usually, you know, boiling whatever seafood it may be for that day, or I don't know, shucking oysters, or God knows what. We've got all the goodies when it comes to the water food, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure that that full-time operation, man, keeps you guys moving all day.
Sure, all day. You know it. I mean, just fishing's all day operation, and you get back and, you know, cater to, I don't know, guests and things like that. It's definitely an all day operation.
Yeah. So I saw that you've got a few titles under your belt. Your dad is pretty well known in the industry. And, you know, he's got a lot of accolades and whatnot, accomplishments. I see you've won a couple, or you got a shark fishing championship under your belt.
Yeah, that was fun. Actually, me and Dad got that. God, I'm terrible with years. That was probably 5-6 years ago now.
Yeah.
On Madfin Shark Series. That was actually one of the funnest tournaments I've ever fished. Only because, or I think because I've never targeted sharks. Usually they're like the bycatch you don't ever want to get involved with, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that was for all of us, not just me and Dad, but everybody fishing the tournament. So that was fun to target them. And they happen to be chewing. So, I mean, you know how fishing goes. Anything, don't matter what you're chasing.
Yeah.
If they're chewing, it's fun. God forbid, it's exactly what you're chasing on the day you need to catch them, you know?
Yeah. So did y'all actually bring those in the boat, or was it a specific shark you were fishing?
No, so before the tournament, we brought the boats in. They all got wrapped, and it had like a big ruler, more or less, on the outside of the boat. Yeah. So we just get them boat side, and whoever would catch it would try to, you know, hold the leader tight on one end, and whoever else, or whether it was me or Dad that didn't have the fish, would grab it by the tail, you know, and hold them. And if I'm not mistaken, they had to be over 6 feet to even count for points. You know, kind of like with the bass tournament, they had to be over 2 pounds for those to count. You know, same idea as a rule, you know. And then depending on what species you caught, counted for more points. We had a little score sheet to help us keep up. We didn't have that, would have been lost, to be honest. But yeah, so we measured them down the side of the boat, and I don't know, we caught a big one. There was one bull shark we caught that, I mean, there's no telling how much it weighed, but it measured 12 feet. I mean, he was huge.
Yeah.
It was absolutely.
Golly.
And it's crazy. We never left land. Like, we could always see land the whole time we fished that tournament. Where a lot of boys were running, you know, miles offshore.
Yeah.
And honestly, we happened to have a few fish, redfish and trout, get eaten by sharks like the week prior when we were running some guides, and then the tournament happened to come up, so we kind of knew where to start, and it was perfect, to be honest.
That's awesome. So you found the winning fish by fishing for a different species.
Yeah. Again, they're usually not what you're looking for, you know?
Well, I mean, it kind of tends to the same point with bass fishing. You know, you look for the bait, you know? So,
right. Oh, same exact thing. It's just, I was starting with the pogies and mullet on the surface catching redfish, and then the redfish turned into bait for the sharks, you know? I mean, at the mouth of that river, you never know what you're going to catch or what's going to happen, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's typical of river systems.
Yeah.
Tennessee River, we know about that, David. You never know what you're pulling up.
It could be anything from a drum to a guard to whatever. Sauger.
Big old 60-pound carp.
Right.
Catfish. So.
Your 60-pound carp is my however many 100-pound shark, you know? Thank God.
I would just about trade the carp for shark in the Tennessee River. Maybe. Those things
they're what and what on the aggravation scale. Just totally different ball game, but they'll drive you nuts, one and the same, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of funny because, you know, oftentimes if you're you see the rare occasion where a big bass, if you're catching, if you got a smaller bass, hooked up, a big one will come up after it.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably right. We'll probably just leave the sharks down there to you guys.
Yeah.
They show up by you, we're in big trouble, my friend.
I don't want my limit fish getting chomped on by a big shark.
No.
Yeah. Well, man, you guys, I've just got an awesome little website, LARedfish.com. That's where you guys can go to check them out. Got all all the captains and resources and everything that you need to know about what you're getting into and stuff like that down there. So, Steven, does this family business, does it go back generations, or did it start with Dad?
No, I mean, it's definitely family business, but it started with Dad. Not only did he start the RedFish Lodge of Louisiana, but Dad's more like a pioneer of Venice or fishing in Louisiana. Now, don't get me wrong, not the only one, but you could definitely, as far as charter fishing, I guess, don't get me wrong, fishing dates back to God knows how in Louisiana or the Gulf Coast for that in general. But as far as guiding in Venice, Louisiana, Dad was one of the first, especially one to make it a professional deal and take it the next level, write, articles and get in magazines and later on the internet and newspapers and, at TV shows and really try to put Venice on a map in a sense, Yeah. Now we argue whether or not that shot us in the foot or not. And now, it's not as hidden gem and as sweet as it once was, but it's still pretty cool place. But yeah, so Dad, it started with Dad. Self-made, nobody before him as far as family, and then not far down the line, my brother's a couple years older than I am. He followed in his footsteps. He actually started fishing tournaments with Dad when he was 13, and they still fish them today, and he's 32, so he's been professionally fishing redfish tournaments since he was 13 years old.
Wow.
And he's a hell of a fisherman. We all kind of can do it, but
yeah.
My brother can fish too, he just somehow missed out on this conversation tonight. But he's a good fisherman too. He just missed out. But first one to do it, man.
That's awesome. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. So take us through a typical day. Somebody, a guest gets down there and, kind of what can they expect before we get to the fishing part? What can somebody expect if they come and visit your lodge?
So, let's just assume they show up the night before and I'm not there the morning of. So they show up the night before. One of the Frenette clan will be greeting you in the parking lot, showing you kind of where your room is and this, that, and the other. Typically, they get there before dinner that night, so you'll have dinner served sometime around in between 6 and 7. Show you to your room, kind of get you settled in, let you have a cocktail, whatever, hang out, kind of get settled in, like I said, for an hour or so. Have dinner, rest up, tell some fishing stories like everyone does, and get ready for the next day. You'll wake up to breakfast being cooked, hopefully smell of bacon or some pancakes or something along those lines.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, hot coffee, And while you're doing that, I'm downstairs running around like a chicken with my head cut off, getting ice and bait or whatever we need for the day on the boat. And then you walk down the stairs and I'll be sitting there waiting for you to take you fishing. And hopefully they're chewing.
Sweet. So what if they're not chewing? What do we do? What do we do instead? Just drink more?
We keep riding around and keep looking and praying and casting that they're going to chew at some point. Because Venice, there is not much to do in Venice. It's oil field.
If you're going to Venice, that's about all you're going to do.
Yeah, we got a dollar store, a couple gas. That really,
Hey, that's one step closer to a Chick-fil-A right there. You need a Dollar General first.
We don't have a McDonald's. We have nothing. If you're not on the boat, then hunting season, whatever. You could hunt, I guess, during hunting season. But other than that, if you're not out on the boat, you're hiding from the rain and wind or something because there's nothing else to do. Don't get me wrong. You could all hang around the camp, whether it's wintertime, you got a fire going, you're barbecuing something, or it's summertime and you just hang out, drinking beers and having a good time. That's always fun too. But other than that, you better be on a boat,
Yeah. Well, I don't, David. I think we would have a good time down there because if we weren't catching them, we're okay with the eating and drinking part.
Right.
I love to eat. You can ask Justin. We go on a kayak tournament. I cook most mornings before we ever get out on the water. And the first thing I do when we get back to the house is I'm cracking a beer.
Right.
So, there's priorities in life, and that's part of them.
I get it, man. I totally get it.
Yeah, this show's not rated.
No, and for the guys they're allowed on the boat as long as you keep it respectful and keep it cool.
Yeah.
I ain't counting how many beers you're drinking.
Yeah. Well. Speaking of that, so when I met your dad, he put a lot of emphasis on making sure that you guys went to college first.
Yeah.
I'm only 35 myself, so you don't have to talk to me like I'm an older guy. But
no, you're good.
But yeah, so
if yes sirs come out, that's just from being raised right.
Yeah. Can't blame you for that.
No.
So you got a degree yourself?
Yeah, I have a kinesiology degree, which is like pre-physical therapy, which is kind of like a hurricane backup plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
If another one like Katrina comes, and I'd have tried, honestly, we're still rebuilding and just kind of getting the lodge back on our feet now. But if another one like Katrina comes, I mean, Katrina, there was nothing left. Like, I mean, a parking lot, went from having a 6-bedroom house, 12 by 12 walk-in freezer, whatever. A list of things just gone. I mean,
Wow.
like, when you look around, there's nothing,
Gosh.
And Ida, we had some damage, but it was just more or less roof damage. Got some water into place. Had got a couple rooms, but not gone. Bounced backable. But if there is another Katrina, I mean, Venice won't be left, and there isn't enough land. It's scary, man, and it's not talked about enough. Honestly, we could get there at some point, but Venice is disappearing very quick. And we talk about dads being the first guy, and if we had a lineage in the family of fishermen. If something doesn't change quick, me and my brother will be the last. I don't think, and I plan on doing it my whole life. Not that I don't know anything other. I'm intelligent. I got other things in my brain, but I didn't want to do anything other.
Yeah.
And every day I ride out looking around going, man, this will not be here by the time I'm 50 years old. And I'm 30.
Yeah.
And the sad part is you ride around. I don't think many other guys are thinking it. I mean, Venice is kind of like a gold rush right now. We have tripled in guides in the last 10 years, maybe more than triple. I mean, it has just turned into an absolute gold rush. Honestly, it's crazy. Big money found. There's more. I don't even know what you want to call it. Not like owner-operator charter businesses. More like multi-boat, big money guys come in, buy multiple boats, just hire captains out and run them. Than I ever thought you'd ever see. Honestly, I never thought that would ever be a thing in Venice. It's too small town, mom and pop type, or at least I thought.
Yeah.
And now it's crazy, man, to be honest with you. It's and you'll see one day I'll come down, take a ride around, I'll show you.
Yeah, definitely.
But even like on a daily basis, and dude, Venice is a vast place. Like, so I'd have hit August 29th this past year. I still haven't seen every part of Venice that I fished since then. And I fished a lot of days since then. But still haven't been to everywhere that I fish in Venice. And like the other day, I was just kind of running around a spot that I hadn't been to since Ida. Dude, I pulled it back and just sat there and was like, where did it go? I mean,
it's gotta make it tough, like being a guide.
It's difficult.
You're having to learn to adjust and everything,
and sandbars, and your brain's like your brain knows where the bank line is, but like for you guys in most places, that bank line never changes.
Yeah.
And say you were to shave like 10 yards off that bank line, but you didn't know it's shaved off. Your brain still sees bank line and thinks it's there, and you're normally riding near it. Well, now that's really canes that disappear, and there's still like stubble and roots and stuff right under the water line that you can't see, and you're hitting all kinds of stuff, finding new sandbars.
Gosh.
Changing props, water pumps, impellers. It's something right now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, sounds like you need to start up a kayak guiding business because.
Oh man, I tell you what, we can do it in the fall. Cause right now the river's up and flowing so hard, my man. You might make it downriver, but good luck. We have to have a taxi service coming back up. I mean, man, it is flowing right now. All this rain needs to stop.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we have to look at as anglers is the current and all that.
Yeah, I mean that's safety for you guys too, right? Especially on like river fishing. I mean, maybe not so much the lake, but
Yeah, I think David, can agree with me here, man. I would say that the kayak anglers are probably the most adaptable anglers, out there because you're forced to,
You have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I fished, big bass tournaments out of a 21-foot Ranger for years and years and years. And the kayak fishing piece has been the biggest adjustment to me of anything I've ever done in fishing.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, one of the things that I've said for 2 years I was going to go do, and I haven't done yet, is to come down there and catch some big bull reds out of a kayak, because I can't imagine catching a 30-pounder out of a kayak and let that thing drag me around for about 15 or 20 minutes.
Oh, that'd be fun. See, I've never done it in a kayak. I've done it on paddle boards, like boat.
That would be just as much fun.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd
probably be more wild. Yeah,
that's pretty legit. And when you said pull me around a little bit, that's what made me think about it. I mean, it pulls you around. I mean, you feel, not that you're surfing, but I mean, it's pulling you.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're gonna, Steve. We got a lot more questions for you as concerning the fishing. We're gonna take a real quick, short commercial break for our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Let it rip.
Is proudly powered by Battleborn Batteries. Let the power of lithium take you on your journeys across the outdoor world. Battleborn Batteries designs and assembles the industry's top choice for lithium-ion batteries right here in the USA. Reliable, safe, and long-lasting, Battleborn makes for the sustainable and lightweight drop-in replacement for traditional lead-acid batteries. Ready to make the switch to lithium and the switch to green energy? All batteries are in stock now. Shop today at battlebornbatteries.com.
All right, guys, we are back and we're live with Stephen Frenette of the RedFish Lodge of Louisiana. We're talking red fishing today. A little bit of change of pace from our normal kayak fishing and bass fishing and stuff like that. So, but we're excited. We're actually going to do a two-part series with this. We got Stephen on tonight, and then we're going to have Mike on next weekend to kind of get his take from the old Papa Bear point of view. So, but we're having a good time. Stephen, man, again, thanks for joining us tonight, bro. And
man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so for if anybody's kind of missed out, we've talked a little bit about the lodge and stuff, and now we're gonna let's start kind of getting into the differences between or how to target redfish. So, man, bass fishing is a lot. I mean, I'm sure you've done some of it yourself, so but you have so many different variables. It seems like, and I'm dumb to this, so I might sound stupid, but it sounds like when it comes to red fishing, when you're targeting redfish, you're typically on like real shallow, flat marsh type stuff. So take us a little bit through the cycles, or the life cycle of a redfish, and like there's some of their spawning and stuff like that, and just kind of their typical behavior and whatnot.
So, I mean, dude, the more we talk about this, the more you're going to feel comfortable. You're going to realize they're not that much different than it's totally different, and maybe how they spawn and what they do. Redfish don't bed and stuff like that. But, I mean, dude, there is just as many ways you could target a bass, you could target a redfish. You could find them, and not to correct you or anything like that, but redfish on shallow flats, that's just one way. I mean, I catch them in 25 feet of water some days in open water chasing balsa bait, or on jetty systems in current, roughly 14, 15, whatever, 15, 20 feet, jigging like you would crappie or something, just with bigger baits, Yeah. There is an endless amount of ways to catch these fish, and honestly, we would have to talk for days. You'd have a 10 episode series on this. So I guess I would just start with like how we're catching them now.
Yeah.
So like this time of year, typically, the river's jumped up. We're starting to get in the spring. Snow melt's starting to happen up north. A lot of rain, just kind of that time of year deal. So the river is up tremendously right now. I forget exactly what number it is, but that's regardless. Anyhow, so we have a lot of fresh water pouring down right now. So when you start,
what's that river that feeds in down there?
Mississippi River.
Mississippi, okay.
Yeah, where I'm at, south of the Mississippi, the biggest one in the state.
I figured I didn't know if you guys had other ones. I haven't looked at the map.
There's some to the west of us, but we are everything I'm talking about, when I say the river, it is the Mississippi River.
Okay.
We are 26 miles north of the mouth of the mouth of the Mississippi. And anytime I refer to the river, it is the Mississippi. But anyhow, so that being up, you know that redfish are, saltwater species. But that being said, especially Venice redfish, they've adapted over the years, man. And there's a lot of freshwater influence that comes in, especially about half the year, So there's many ponds that I catch redfish in. I might catch a bass one cast and a redfish the next. You might see a bass swimming, not alongside, but, in the same area as the redfish. I mean, they have adapted big time. But this time of the year, the one thing about the freshwaters, it's freezing. Or not freezing, it's 55 degrees,
Yeah.
And not many fish, especially not saltwater fish, want anything that cold, So when I leave right now, I'm looking for cleaner. When I say cleaner, anything greener is typically saltier. So therefore, it's usually warmer as well. So I'm trying to find areas in which I know should hold some saltier water. So I'm trying to get away from some of these mouths of these tributaries and mouths of the river. Trying to maybe get up back in some pockets where I know the Gulf is, more influential than the river.
Yeah.
And then this time of the year, personally, and I'd like to listen to Dad come next week because I like to fish on sand, sandbars, riverbanks, anything that has a hard sandy bottom. So Venice is known for soft, sticky, ooey gooey, nasty mud, but we also have a lot of sand. And throwing things like red-eye shads, like lipless crankbaits, square bills, spinner baits. I mean, you could bounce a jig or any type of worm if you really wanted to over it, catch them, honestly. I mean, dude, it's so relative.
Yeah.
Bass. I mean, same thing as like a sandbar in a river. Fish for a bass, you throw in spinner baits and lipless crankbaits over it.
Yeah.
Except hopefully they're like you said earlier, 30 pounders in this bit instead of whatever. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been doing. At least the last couple of weeks, I've been focusing as warm as water as I could find because I don't know, warmest I could find right now might be 70 degrees right at it. And typically looks a little greener. And most of my fish are coming somewhere between a foot and 3 feet deep, shallow. Those fish, that water warms up a little bit, on the banks. And I mean, dude, in the breakers, if you're ever in Venice or on the coast of Louisiana, all the way to Florida, don't be scared to throw that bait on the sand and reel it back to you, just like you would a lizard or something on a bank, and you want to reel it back, off the bank.
Yeah.
Same. Throw it up on the bank and reel it back in, and you will be surprised how many of them hit it within first foot of depth.
Yeah. So, like bass, they react a lot to baits and stuff like that. Is this basically the same thing with redfish?
Yeah. I like to say, people are like, what do redfish eat? I tell them anything that gets within a couple inches of their face, they'll eat. Like
they're not picky.
No, they're not picky. They eat crabs, mullet. I've taken flounder out of their mouths. I've seen them eat other redfish. They've eaten trout off my lines. They've eaten catfish. I don't think they have a diet. They eat anything, and like you said, they're reactionary completely. I mean, I think they hit things just to kill it. So I've watched them hit it, kill it, and just spit it out and keep swimming. Like what?
So they're real territorial, like like a bass, pretty much.
Yeah, but a bass more or less is territorial to his domain. Whether it be a log or a stump or that patch of grass or whatever, a dock. Where redfish, he may be just cruising the beach aimlessly for maybe a mile or however long. And anything in here, he's protecting me, He's not, they don't necessarily, for the most part, at least in Venice, I guess there has been places there's places in the world where you dock fish them just like you would a bass. I mean, they are sitting under the docks, hiding in the shade because it's the coolest water around. They don't move much, and you pretty much got to finesse fish them and piss them off enough to hit it. I don't think they're hungry. I think you throw it 90-something times enough for him to get mad enough to hit it. I don't think he was hungry. He was just killing it because he had enough of watching it pass in front of his face,
Well, yeah, I'm sure if I came on there and just buzzed around your head for a while, you probably eventually ask me what the heck.
Right. That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
Same to you,
Yeah. Yes. So, what is the? I guess when do they spawn? You mentioned they don't spawn like bass. You're looking for warmer water. We're doing the same thing, right, with bass fishing, but
Right.
They get in those protected areas. What's it like for the reds?
This is the most asked question from like the world of red fishing, and there's very little study. So like the only information I have is from University of South Carolina, which states that and don't quote me on this, I believe it's the first full moon of September, and then 2 full moons after that, the spawn will last between them. Now, the fish, it's nothing like the bass. So when they're spawning, they're the hardest thing on earth to catch. I mean, you can't find them. So in the studies, they say they'll gather in about anywhere from 30 to 60 feet of water near the mouths of the pass of major rivers. Now, dude, there is so many of those in Venice.
I love the fishing information that's out there in the books. It's so generic.
Right. I mean, it really is. And I get it. Like, dude, I've fished them my whole life. I've spent 30 years of my life following these fish around. I mean, it's still not that it's a guess. I mean, I might have a little better educated guess than most, but it's still a guess at the end of the day. Yeah. And so they say that the males will get in what they call drumming schools. I mean, whether it's thousands, hundreds of thousands, I'm not really sure, tens of thousands. They get in big schools, and if you ever catch a redfish, and similar to freshwater drum, I mean, you feel them drum. You could hear it. You feel it thumping in his stomach. So if you feel that on a redfish, it's a male. So all these males will get together in what they call a drumming school at the mouths of these passes. I've yet to find them, but that's what they say, and they will start drumming and putting off this noise. I mean, some type of, natural phenomenon deal. Yeah. The females will come back. Again, generic as can be, once every 3 to 7 days and come and spread their eggs, and the males do their thing. And from there, the currents take the eggs back into the marsh where the little fry get bigger and bigger and bigger, which is why that's the thing about redfish too. So kind of cut out of what we were talking about there for a second. So like redfish to speak about is one thing, and then you have your slot size fish, you typically catch in a total different area, maybe doing a total different thing than you would say these bull reds, out on a beach, or 30 pounders. Now, don't get me wrong, just like bass fishing or anything, you may catch a big one at marsh, where you don't typically think you're going to. But if someone, like typical day when guys go to my boat, ask them, what are y'all interested in doing? What's your goal today? Are you trying to catch, something to bring home and eat, a numbers deal, or are you, trying to catch a trophy sized fish? What is it they're trying to do? Because it's not like really do them both in the same thing, and it's kind of mind warping for guys because it's like, wait, what do you mean?
It's so fast.
I would we do. What do you mean? There's not like a 3-pounder here and a 6-pounder there, and it's like, not really.
Right.
The little guys kind of got to grow up in the marsh until they're big enough to make it out there. Because back to the sharks and the other things, and there's things that'll actually eat them. Very quickly, very quickly. So they kind of hang up back in we have like roseau canes and grass. I mean, they'll hang back in the marshy delta till they're of age or big enough to feel like they got the balls to do it, I guess, Yeah. And they go out into what we call, I don't know, just kind of like your Outer Banks, more or less,
the open mouths of the creeks.
Right, exactly. But so back to spawning. That can be the toughest time to fish.
Yeah, it's that's interesting because I guess I'm taking from your demeanor and just kind of like the way you're talking about it with the spawn is that it's not your most fun time to.
So it's weird. It's just the most. It goes from the best fishing you've ever seen in your life to the hardest 3 days you've ever had. And you're just like, hell. And I think they all disappear to go do whatever they do for a day, 2, 3, or whatever. And when they come back, they're the hungriest things you've ever seen. And you like crazy, you catch them like crazy, and then they might disappear for. It might be a day, it might be 4 days, and you never know, And then they're back again, and when they're back, and it's all over. It can be this past winter or fall/winter, I don't know, whatever, October to December, even into January was some of the best fishing I've seen in years. The river finally dropped back down to below flood stage for the first time in like 9 years. It's like all the stars aligned and the things were correct. And I mean, man, it was so fun. And we were chasing birds and literally seeing. I mean, you might not see the one that ate it because there was 30, 40 of them there, but I mean, you're looking at them, you know, on a big screen.
Yeah.
It was for days, for months. It seemed like. I mean, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right now where everybody's kind of gearing up for for the bass spawn. That's
Yeah.
Everybody's getting their boats out and everything. Everybody's getting
Right.
excited.
So for us, y'all are a little. I guess because y'all are further north, y'all are a little behind us. It's kind of coming to a close around here. They're still on.
Oh yeah.
They're already spawned out.
Yeah, we David. Well, me and David went and fished. We had a tournament down there at Lake Seminole, Georgia, last year around February, and I mean they were getting ready. At that point.
Yeah.
A lot of big fish.
Yeah, actually, my brother was in Orlando for some other fishing gig the other day. Right outside his hotel. I mean, dude, I wish I could send you the picture. He caught like, I don't know, 12 5+ pounders in like 30 minutes in some pond on the backside of the condo he was staying in. He's like, dude, I walked down the bank. I saw like 50 of them. I couldn't help it to walk to my truck and get my ride.
Those are some of the best places, man. Those in golf course ponds and stuff.
I don't think anybody's ever touched them. He said I sat on the ground. He said, dude, you don't understand. I'm literally not aiming for nothing, casting it as far as I can in the middle of this pond and just swimming a swim bait right on the surface and just watching them cartwheel over to try to eat it,
Golly.
Because I don't think they've ever seen a bait.
Oh man, I had one pond like that. It was a buddy of mine, his grandma's pond. She wouldn't let nobody touch it. Well, we slept out there, and dude, we probably caught about 100 and so fish between like the three of us in just a couple of hours. I mean, it didn't matter what you threw. I mean that trip alone could have just done away with all the information out there that this bait's best at this time of year and blah blah blah. It didn't matter what they
pick whichever one out this box. Bet you catch it.
They're eating it. But that's awesome, man. David, you were talking about going earlier this year, talking about making a little trip. Were you talking about going down to Venice or?
Venice or the Venice area. I mean, my regional headquarters was in Metairie for years. So I got to fish around that Hammond area, the
went to college.
Hammond Homa. I love, look, red fishing is pretty much the closest thing to bass fishing you can ever get, except you're going to catch a lot more fish and it's a lot more fun. Frankly, I enjoy it. I love to redfish. I don't get to do it as much as I like to. The only thing I love more than red fishing is when I go down there is going and eating the food.
Dave, are you in Memphis too?
Yeah, I'm in Memphis too, but my regional headquarters was, like I said, in Metairie. I spent 2 months a year down there for like 15 years.
Okay.
We've done the Louisiana Sportsman Show for the tackle shop. We did it for like 6 or 7 years. We'd go down there and eat a lot of good Cajun food, eat some crawfish, eat some good fresh shrimp, and
I grew up crawling around the booths of the Louisiana Sportsman Show as a kid. Dad used to have the biggest booth in that thing. I mean, I lived a funny life as a child, and I was in and out of booths of sportsman shows for years.
Oh yeah. So, but I mean, and that was, one of the biggest, best ones forever. I mean, used to love going to do that show. We haven't done it, after COVID, it kind of killed it for a little bit.
Right. Was that where was that one? Was that in?
It was in Gonzales.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was at the.
In Gonzales, that last 5 or 6 years that we did.
Whatever it was.
So, but I mean, it's always so much fun to go down there and eat some shrimp po' boys and.
Yeah, but.
One of my favorite meals on the face.
It's fun. I go up there and I want everything to do with y'all's barbecue. You could have every shrimp po' boy you got in town.
It's amazing how it varies from place to place.
Yeah.
It's all about
what you go down there. The girls down there at the old office, they used to love to go to all these Voodoo Barbecue and some of the other barbecue restaurants down there. I'm like,
garbage.
I mean, it's okay. It's good. It's just
don't give it that credit.
Yes, I'm here to eat some shrimp. So eat some crawfish.
Right.
That's like when we go down to Florida, we go to the beach every year, and my wife's always excited about the food. And I tell her, I'm like, man, that stuff comes in on food trucks. When you talk frozen trucks.
I had a buddy actually, my buddy House actually worked at Voodoo Barbecue in college, and we go over there because he'd hook us up with a discount. But other than that, man, it was no good. Not for barbecue,
Yeah.
No, it's okay. But I mean, we have a little restaurant up here that they serve barbecue shrimp right around the corner from our shop, and I'm like, I tell Devin all the time, I love it, it's great, but it's not barbecue shrimp.
Right.
It's too sweet. It doesn't have enough spice. It needs a little work.
The word sweet should not be in barbecue shrimp.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, but yeah, no, I would love. I'm going to try to. I might have to book a trip with y'all. Just come get to eat some of your mama's cooking.
We will definitely be in touch. That's for sure.
Man, yeah, just checking out y'all's website. I had my mouth watering.
I'm looking.
She's got a magical hand for some food, my friend. It's quite impressive. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And like we could all cook, but I mean, you don't stand a chance against mom.
Oh, mom's always got the touch. That's for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, man, so what are the hurricanes? What do they do for the fishing? Does it get real good after the hurricanes, or does it just totally mess it up for the Reds?
Dude, typically after a damn storm is the best fishing areas. Like, I remember after Katrina, we were catching redfish and trout and flounder in the marina. Like, it's usually some of the best fish because you get such a push of salt water from the south, comes up through the whole river system. The water in the river after Katrina was clean as I've ever seen it. It was beautiful, almost crystal. It almost looked like Bahamas. And but after Ida, for whatever reason, it was no good. It was no better than it was before the storm came through. It usually doesn't hurt it, other than the part of fishing that isn't casting a rod and the traveling here and there and figuring out what's what. That part obviously makes it harder because you do have a loss of land and then new sandbars and things that. Yeah. And I hate to break to you, there's no bulletin board or Facebook page, anything that anybody goes. You find it the hard way. We like to say, if you want to see if you got good gear, let the Frenettes run it because we will put it to the test. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just a part of it down there. It's always changing. Yeah. Always. I pray. There's many days you have no idea how many times I'm like, man, I wish I was on a lake. The fact that this changes so much. I want a body of water that's been the same for like 300 years. Give me something like that. Yeah. Have you ever thought about switching over doing bass fishing guide? I love bass fishing. Like, in fact, me and my brother and a buddy of mine went bass fishing. I guess it was 2 Sundays ago now. It felt like yesterday, but in just a little lake down by the house. Actually, you said Hammond. So I bought a house in Covington, Louisiana, which is not far from Hammond. And I don't know, all through college, a buddy of mine had access to it's like a 500-acre lake that, it holds some studs, man. It's got some good bass in there. And we went and hit it the other day for the first time in years. And we caught like 30-something fish, and a couple of them, we definitely missed spawn. They're definitely all skinny now, But I don't know, we had a couple 5-pounders. And I would love to. It's just, dude, any competitive fishing, it's funny. I grew up as a kid. I've caught every fish. I have no problem being in a John boat with a trolling motor only, catching bass. Or, 2 days ago, I lost the biggest tuna of my life, boat side. Oh, man. And had to be over 2+. Honestly, don't want to talk about it. But and all get those stories. Be fishing bass the next day. Yeah. So I just have way too much that I want to do to fit that in as well. If that makes any sense. There's time in the day. You get old way too damn quick, and you hear it your whole life, and then one day it actually clicks, and you're like, "What the hell? Where'd it go?" But I'd love to if I could squeeze it in at some point. In between buying a house, getting life together, running a lodge, fishing redfish tournament. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Good. Just competitive fishing, dude. Adding the sense of a tournament. And I fish marlin tournaments, tuna tournaments, redfish tournaments, bass tournaments. I played ball my whole life. So I like playing, I like feeling like it's a sport or it's the competitive aspect. Yeah. And it adds this, you fish tournaments, both of you guys. It adds this extra, you feel young again. Like my blood's flowing. Yeah. Not only do I have to catch fish, but I got to beat other guys. You know what I mean? Got the music going in the morning. Yeah, you got getting pumped up and stuff. I feel you. Yeah. Me and my brother fished that College Bassmaster Series when we were in college. And I mean, dude, that was some of the funnest. I mean, don't get me wrong, we fished plenty of redfish tournaments, all this, but like just that time in life, in college, traveling the country, fishing bass tournaments with my brother, dude, that was awesome. Like, I mean, it was a ball, and we did well. We finished in like, honestly, I don't remember, 21st, 23rd or something in the nation, our first year ever fishing it, and we don't bass fish. I mean, we fish. Like, say it. Like, actually, right now my brother's lighting me up. Like, watch, he's at a golf course. Just caught like a 6-pounder or 5.
There you go.
Like, I mean,
so
we get bored sitting at the house. I mean, it never ends. It doesn't matter where we're at.
Yeah, just always got right in the hand. So, man, I want to ask you this. I mean, so it sounds like, anybody that's watching, this show that, bass fishes predominantly, that's never went red fishing in life, they could take their gear with them.
Yes.
I would ask though, when it comes to line and stuff like that and the rods themselves, do you typically go heavier action rod, bigger line, stuff like that?
So you know how that's preference. I mean,
right.
And depending on what I'm throwing, I mean, my crankbaits, spinnerbait rods are definitely a little heavier than whatever my jigging rods or whatever, not much, but anything medium heavy. That's what I rock medium heavy. Ducket, actually, Mike Frenette signature series. Throwing Cigar Smackdown 30. Dude, 30, it's plenty, if that makes any sense. It's perfect for casting. I mean, you can launch a bait with 30, and it's plenty strong enough. You don't need 50. You guys will argue you do, but, I mean, dude, you can't cast that well.
Do you use braid mostly?
Yeah, all.
All braid?
All.
So that's the big difference I was looking for.
That's the big difference. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a leader. I have a fluorocarbon, 4 or 5 foot leader. And typically, mostly on just anything with split rings and treble hooks, just because I don't want my braid getting, snuck in between the rings and spending 10 minutes trying to get it out. So I just put me a little leader. But, dude, mostly, I mean, and this is strictly in Louisiana. I go to Florida, then I have to worry about the fish actually seeing the leader. In Louisiana, they don't seem to care as much. In Florida, then I'm actually worried about visibility and things of that sort. But here, mainly just worried about, keeping my bait clean and timely, trying not to worry about fixing my bait all day long.
Yeah. You kind of answered my next question was, can they get line spooked the same way as stuff like that?
But you guys have seen way cleaner water than 95% of anything we ever catch them in. Now don't get me wrong, that's back to, we could talk about this for days. There's also types of red fishing, especially when we're fishing tournaments and whatnot. Dude, I see every fish I'm catching. And I'm standing on a tower on the boat, hopefully in the cleanest of water that I could find. Typically 3 feet or less and a lot of grass. That's what's making it clean, big filter. And hopefully I'm handpicking the ones that I want closest to the bigger end of the slot size, Yeah. And on those days, I mean, just like any fish, I'm doing everything I possibly have ever been taught that can trick the fish into biting my bait. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking it's for, for everything. It's for visibility reasons. It's for, I don't know, hook set reasons with no stretch versus mono, The list goes on. You know how fishermen are, like baseball. We're the most,
right.
Whatever. You got little things that help you get through that tell you what's right and what's wrong, when it's really just you in your head telling you what you think is right or wrong.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good that one.
Me and David have that combo where he hears it a lot because he's a straight trilene big game guy.
Old school. I mean, like I'm fishing the same line for.
I can't tell you how many fish I've caught.
Longer than you two have been alive.
Yeah.
Nope.
Caught some fish on that. I mean, there's no hiding it. If you fished any time in the last 30 minutes, you got some fish on some trilene, let me tell you.
Yeah. I think everybody started out on that or string or something,
Right. If not, I'm not sure where you grew up fishing, but it wasn't where I grew up fishing.
Yeah. Grew up with that silver spoon in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised on that fluorocarbon, son.
That'd be nice.
Hey, man, I still got 3 or 4 different spools of trilene big game, and
I guarantee you, I could probably reach one from here.
Oh yeah.
Like, although I just moved in here, so I got shit everywhere. But
where to look at?
Well, they're like like what, $6 for 1,000 yards, something like that. So
It's $9.99.
Before you ever use it all, you know.
Hey,
Another one. Now you got 6 of them in the closet.
Well, you can re-spool it every third trip, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
to that point, David, out of the three of us, me and Steve are going to spend $30 on some fluorocarbon. You are the smartest one out of us three right here.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm never going to take that title.
No, I'm just the most stubborn, hard-headed of the three of us in the building. So,
yeah. I will say I've broke off my fair share on using fluorocarbon. So,
broke off on my man.
Yeah.
Broke them up on braid, fluorocarbon, mono.
Oh yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Had bad days. In fact, the tuna that got away 2 days ago was on 60-pound fluoro.
So I'm guessing. I take it, from you talking about you want to find that cleanest water. If the river comes up, it gets real muddy, stuff like that. You still looking for the cleanest water, or can you still catch some reds, or do they use lateral lines? Stuff like that to feed?
So that being said, I am visually looking for cleaner water just because I know that means it's a temperature deal. I don't really care what the water looks like. If I can find 70-degree water that's chocolate milk looking right now, just so like this week had 70 seems to be the number, If I can find chocolate milk, like in a couple months, the water's still going to be dirty, but it's going to warm up a bit because a lot of it won't be snow melt, a lot more of it will be rain, So when the water warms up, we catch them in the dirtiest water you've ever seen. And then back to like depths. Or let me go back to this. I'm looking for clean water only for temperature reasons. I could care less what color the water is.
Yeah.
But back to depths.
Somebody's excited.
Yeah, I think somebody's here. If I'm looking for clean water or back in deep water, say I'm jigging or I'm fishing in 25 feet of water, almost all the time there's some clean water below the surface somewhere. So your salt water is heavier, it's more dense, it sinks to the bottom. So a lot of times, especially like right now, I'm thinking I was jigging the mouth of the river the other day, catching some. And when the fish would come up and kind of boil at the surface before you get them in the net and whatnot, I mean, they're kicking up green water, but on the surface, it looks like coffee,
Yeah.
I mean, you can see through it at all. So don't let the color of the water discourage you in any means. And I mean, dude, redfish are just like anything. Have confidence in what you're doing. Find something you think's right. Get some moving water, whether it be the right temperature or not, and just start fishing. Look for bait. It's more than anything. One thing I'm looking for more than anything is bait. If I see bait all in this dirty water, I'm fishing. I don't care. I don't care what color it is. If I see bait in it, something's eating it. I mean, they're not the only ones living there. I mean, it's a lot of times fishing gets taken as a thing that overthought. Where try to stick to the basics. Try to remind yourself, dude, if you see something that looks like there's life there, there's probably bigger life there. Roll with it. Like, just pick the most perfect place to hide from the big guys. It hardly ever happens,
Yeah.
Daddy's put a lot of old school in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, you'll see why. I'm gonna chip off the old block for sure. But I mean, everybody's got all these fancy doohickeys, all these machines, and all this, that, and the other. I think a lot of times you pass up a lot of things that are right under your nose, staring at the damn machine.
All right. Well, here's the next question, David. David, you know what's coming. I know you got that live scope on your boat, then.
Me?
You live scoping them?
I've never. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I got my live scope. My live.
I love this guy. I'm
My
going
live scope is my scuba fins and my mask. And when I really want to see them, I jump in and I look around, and then I come out and tell my guys, "Yeah, they're cash right there." Yeah, I got a live scope.
That's that real live scope.
Oh, it's the livest scope you've ever seen, my friend. Come on, you want a live scope? Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, man, I live scope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've never seen a live scope. I have never even watched a YouTube video of a live scope. I hope live scope doesn't make it to Venice because it's going to ruin so much fishing that people don't even know about yet. I hope that shit stays in the freshwater world, and pardon my French, but I hope it stays over there. But it's not. It's going to come real soon.
It's going to come out there, yeah.
Oh, we're screwed, man. It's over. And it's crazy. So that stuff actually, not so much the redfish world, but that exists in like the marlin fishing world. Same technology, a lot bigger scale. Like they actually have to deploy like this big tube deal, and like they're in a submarine, but opposite.
Yeah.
I mean it, and it's crazy. I don't know enough about live scope. I'm about to sound like a fool here because I mean.
You're a fool amongst fools because
right. I'm totally ignorant. I've never even thought about reading anything about it. But these marlin boats can literally stick this device in the water, go 360 degrees looking, and it could record a mass like a marlin. It could record a fish's mass somehow, take it into the computer, and track it as long as it's within X amount of distance. I forget exactly.
We've had this discussion, have we not?
This is insane, my friend.
Wow. Yeah, this
is insane. So like
that's not even live scope, man. That's a totally different level. That's just plain
like
cheating.
Yeah, they've got it from the Navy or something. I don't even
I was gonna say they got some military equipment on there tracking it.
They can mark these marlin. So like for years, this one boat, it was named the Done Deal out of Homa, or anyway, out of Louisiana.
Right.
And this guy won more tournaments than anybody ever seen. I mean, this guy he was the champion of all champions. He was ruling the world. And not only that, but so, I mean, there's only so many rigs and this, that, and the other where you catch marlin. And typically there's a few boats at each one of them. So all these other guys would see them and typically you're doing laps around where you think the fish are. You mark them. You just do circles, passing baits over their heads, hoping they eat them. Well, this other guy, he'd mark them, and nobody knew what he was doing. He kept it a secret, man. He kept it a secret for years. I mean, power to him. Awesome. I love him for this. He kept it a secret. Nobody knew what he was doing. And I mean, everybody would be doing the same thing more or less. And he'd be doing this weird stuff off to the side. And everybody's like, man, what is he doing over there? How does he win tournaments? He looks like a fool. He was literally chasing these marlin, hanging a tuna right in their face until they ate it. Just pissing them off the same way you and I would have bass on a bed or whatever. And he would literally find which one he'd want with his scope. Okay, they got 3 here. Okay. That's the biggest one. Get in front of him, stick a tuna in his face until he eats it. And this man won millions of dollars doing this. I mean, millions.
Wow.
Yeah. It's quite incredible. So the live scope, yeah. I mean, I got it. Yeah, I got 2 of them. Is there a way to have 2? Because I got 2.
No, man. Now that's cheating. That's cheating.
Yeah, I got one for the bow and the stern. It is with the front one. I want to make sure I get them with the back one.
Well, it is. I mean, it's getting really crazy because just about every the pros, they dictate everything the way the industry goes. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, they got the Garmin Live Scope, the Mega 360 Live, the Lorraine. I mean, these folks are starting to use every single one of them. At least that's where it's going to be getting to, because the day of being, I guess, using one particular brand specific, that's gone out the window because, man, everybody's like, dude,
so they're putting different on their bow so they could run.
Yeah. Do they instead of using all Garmin's, they're using Humminbirds, Garmin, Lowrance, every single one of them.
Oh wow,
it's crazy.
It's not fishing anymore. It's video game playing.
It's video game play. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they don't even. I mean, I still got to work the bait, but how does it work?
Yeah, I like that. You still got to work the bait. Yeah.
I mean, you still got to work the bait, but that's
about. They're being able to see it live right there in front of their face, so they can see the way the fish is reacting and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little research. Now you got me interested. I'm gonna have to watch a video or 2 on this and check back with you, Justin. Because oh man, that's if I would think about fishing a bass tournament. Sounds like I'd show up and be the fool from the 1980s with my color scope and things like that. Hey, how's it going? Here they got bass here, monitors and screens and seeing the fish. Yeah, I ain't got a chance.
Heck, David's got a graph on his bow, but he forgets the battery half the time, so it don't even really matter.
I don't really worry about it. I leave it off the boat half the time.
What's really fun? What's really funny, and we're not dogging. I'm not necessarily on here trying to dog it. It's just always a funny piece to talk about with people. But man, you should go back and look at Hobie Bass Open or Hobie. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, go look at Hobie back when they had the Bassmaster Classic earlier, about a month ago, and they had a Hobie Pro Angler up there that was a $25,000 Hobie. It's got 2 graphs on it. It's got live scope. You saw it?
Yeah, dude. I mean, boats in general, whether it's a kayak or a bay boat or a hybrid, have gone out the window. I don't know. I was thinking about getting a new boat, you know. And now that I've actually looked around and seen the price, I think the one I got is just fine. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, all this
Like
thing,
you never met it.
$5,000 kayak, and no offense to anyone, but that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is that? I didn't really like break it down. How much was the boat, and how much is add-ons? Really, do you have any idea?
Yes.
Oh, 5 and 6.
Okay.
And the rest of it's all add-ons.
In add-ons.
Yeah. Yeah. You can add up all the other stuff. It's industry standard, but yeah, so I mean, I hope he's got the 360, and that is I mean, I've got one. It is a sweet drive. You can steer in all 360 degrees. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's their most expensive one. Then they got the regular 180 drive with kick-up fins and stuff. So,
Right.
you know, it's come a long way. But you know, I don't necessarily like how, you know, since the kayak sport has gained in popularity, that every year they're going up another $100, $200 for these boats. You know, to where it's
You should see the center consoles. They're going up thousands, tens of thousands. I mean, it really is in.
The guy says, "I'm quite happy with my $750 kayak."
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford to do it for fun. It's really gotten insane. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand, man. Everything, you know, it's gotten crazy. That's for sure. I mean, I guess it's a good thing in a sense, though. I mean, the kayak fishing is blown up. I guess I don't know so much the freshwater scene, but the saltwater scene in the past definitely 5, maybe 10's fair, but 5 years has exploded, at least down here, you know.
In the freshwater scene, it's the fastest growing piece of the bass fishing industry out there right now. I mean, faster than even high school fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
no offense to bass fishing, but it's kind of been the same thing for so long that, I mean, you introduce something new and you know, especially that's cool and people like, then it should blow up, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're selling kayak tournaments
out of the market, right? I mean,
yeah, I think what Dave was saying was, I mean, the Hobie Bass Open Series. I mean, they're filling out registration. You know, like in the first hour, $200 angler cap, and it's being filled in the first couple hours.
That's a lot of boats.
A lot of boats, yeah. The only downfall is, you know, they just haven't gotten it down yet how they're going to go about capturing, you know, having media boats and doing it live and all. They don't have that piece yet. I don't know if they will.
It's still growing though. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you know, this is the part where it's not as sexy as bass boats because, you know, you're not sitting there hitting that 250 and, you know.
Right, but not everybody's sexy neither. You know, there's a whole other market that it grasps that isn't the sexy boat. And I like to think there's more guys like us, honestly. Like,
a guy like Seth that's happy with this $750 kayak.
Right.
It'll get him out there, let him go catch some fish.
Right.
And he can still compete.
Yeah. And there's more people on earth that can do that than can afford this. And nowadays bass boats are close to $100,000, maybe over $100,000.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would venture to say that at the end of all this, you would probably see a major shift in, like, you know, companies and sponsors getting more involved in the kayak because it attracts more people. More people can afford it, you know. So unless they start jacking the prices up, which that always happens, but
I mean, then unfortunately new companies start, and that's how the flow keeps rolling.
Yeah, there you go. Well, man, dude, I want to share you guys a website just for anybody that's, you know, for the people that are watching, they can kind of get a good look at what to look for and everything. Sorry. I'm gonna bring it up here on the page.
I'm liking the love too. Me and a buddy of mine actually made it.
So pretty cool. I mean, this, you know, guys, if you're interested in booking a trip with the RedFish Lodge, get on here, LARedfish.com. Your dad is also y'all's fishing. Sorry, I went blank.
Okay.
You guys are sponsored by Battleborn Batteries as well. That's how I met your dad. So really cool. But anything else, man, that you'd like to add? Dude, we could stay on here all night and talk it up.
Oh, thank you, man.
Time, but
I appreciate it. Both of you and Dave. Been fun.
Absolutely.
And I really do. I hope to actually get to meet you guys in person, go catch some fish.
No, you're gonna hear from me.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Likewise, I'm definitely gonna come down there.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
I mean, whether you bring y'all's boats or we just go ride around in mine or both, we can always bring them up there. Who knows what we do? I get on all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'll just come ride with you.
Y'all make a day of it for sure, boys, and y'all stay safe.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Steven, for coming on, man. Enjoyed it.
Thanks, buddy.
And, we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too. Pretty cool, dude. I enjoyed the change
I like
of pace. Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool dude.
He's very old school.
Yeah, I like how he didn't know anything about the live scope. So, you know, his dad's left a lasting impression on him. That's for sure.
There's no doubt.
Well, I just want to reiterate, guys. You know, this Saturday, come out and see us at SY Wilson, and get signed up for the St. Jude Kayak Classic going on 29th. We've only got 6 folks signed up so far, but you know that's it. Check with Steve yesterday, but he didn't sound too concerned. He said this happens every year, and I mean,
Every year.
yeah,
Especially the worst procrastinators on the face of God's green earth.
we are, especially kayak fishermen. But,
They're all bad.
yeah, but get signed up if you can. If not, mail in registration, because mail in registration ends the 15th, and then you can do in-person registration at the Batesville Civic Center on the 28th between, gosh, I want to say 1 to 3 p.m. Is that what it was?
Sounds right.
Okay. Anything else you got, David?
No, come see us. It's going to be a great weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. It has been a crazy spring. We're selling a lot of boats. If you want to kayak, better get one while you can. They are actually going pretty fast. We're selling about one a day. So,
All right. Well, you heard it from the man himself. All right. Well, we're going to sign off, David. I appreciate you and Primary Tackle. I want to say another thanks to Battleborn Batteries as well. And guys, we will catch you next time. We're going to have Mike, his dad, back on next week, kind of get his take about some Louisiana red fishing. So you guys take care. Have a great rest of your week and weekend, and we'll see you next week.